Hey guys, you're listening to Bounce Back with SAAS. Today we're bouncing back with Isha to talk about how she bounced back from her setback. All right, Isha, start us off.
Hi, my name is Isha, and I'm a rising senior at BASIS Peoria. Thank you for inviting me on here. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, no problem. We're so excited to have you here to talk about your setback. So, let's ask the first question. Can you tell us about a specific time in your life, whether it be in school, sports, or in your career or any other place, where faced a major setback, failure, or disappointment?
Yeah, absolutely. This year we had to take the SAT, which, if you don't know, is a standardized exam that is really helpful on college applications, and many high schoolers take this around the world. So, my story did fairly well. I could improve. So I took it again, and my score dropped down by a lot. This was a major setback for me because I was very, very disappointed in what happened. And I felt like I was very behind because of this setback. So immediately after I got the score, I just felt that disappointment and I began blaming external factors like my classes, school stuff, how tired I was, all those things. And it made it feel justified that I didn't get what I wanted.
Yeah, I can understand how that feels. It's always so hard right after you take a test, and you always think of all the reasons why it went wrong.
It is, yeah.
So, what was the turning point for you? Was there like a specific moment or conversation, any event where you decided you needed to change the way you're approaching this problem?
A couple days after I got my score, I had this conversation with my dad, and he was telling me that on the surface level, the colleges are looking at your application. They're not going to know about how tired you were when you took the test, if you didn't sleep that night, if maybe you didn't have time to study because of other exams. They don't know all that. All they see is that number on the paper. And because of that, all that matters is the number on the paper. So when I was making excuses for how I did, that wasn't doing anything to help me at all. It was just something that made me feel better, even when that should not have been the case. Um, I realized to fix this problem and to help myself in the future, I have to stop making excuses for what happened and only focus on the end goal.
And what exact actions did you implement to really recover from this setback? Like, of course, that mindset, but what else?
So I decided to sit down and instead of just starting right away on studying and just going through a bunch of practice questions, I organized a schedule. So I took one day to just sit down, list out like the things I wasn't good at. I took a very deep look at my scores, the details, and I found a I found resources to help me study. So I organized all of that, created a timeline for 2 weeks, and I also held myself accountable by ensuring that every single day I took a practice test and reviewed a practice test. And holding myself accountable and creating that schedule, I think, were very big factors in what helped me stay consistent in studying.
Yeah, I think like actually taking those actions is really helpful for actually changing so that you can recover from setbacks and improve yourself.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
yeah. And how did this setback help shape the person you are today?
So it really taught me that just because this one thing happened to me, it didn't mean that was all I was as a person. This one disappointing factor, it doesn't bring down the other things I did. Like, it doesn't define my personality or other things like that. And I realized this one small thing could easily be fixed by hard work and by dedication. So I learned the importance of hard work, especially because after I put in all of that work and was very consistent through everything, the end result really proved to me how valuable these skills were. So I learned the importance of time management, organization, and consistency through this.
Yeah, those things definitely help in like hard work and staying consistent. Those really help a lot. And is there like a specific personal value or boundary you hold now that you didn't before that helped you make these actions be more hardworking?
Yeah, so I realize I sometimes have to just prioritize the goals that I have in mind. Like, I noticed that certain apps on my phone were very, very distracting in achieving my goals. I would, so during this time, I would turn my phone off and just keep it in my desk, or I would give it to my sister and have her hold it for me for like almost the whole day. And I would just be consistently studying. And so that really helped. But also, aside from distractions and things like that, I felt like um, time was a very big thing for me because, of course, I was getting distracted and stuff, but I also, even without my phone, I would get distracted by other things and
Mm.
I would just be staring out the window, like, I don't know. But I just kept my goals in mind. I kept my schedule handy. I always looked at my schedule, so it was like a visual representation of my goal, and that really helped me develop the skills and the motivation.
Right, totally. Yeah, limiting distractions is like super helpful. I would know because I always have a distraction next to me. I should start doing that. I should remove my distractions.
It's helpful, yeah.
Definitely. Do you think you would have reacted differently today than previously if you faced the same struggle?
Oh, definitely. What I did back then, it was not a very good study technique at all. And I wasted so much time. And all that time, I really wish I could have spent it on just not even studying. Like, even if I explored the methods that helped me learn best or looked for resources I could use, that would have been such a big help for me. And I really wish I'd done that. But aside from that, I also wish I had studied and I
Mhm.
wish that I stayed consistent because I would do so much work for one day and then give up on everything, being like, "Oh, I already did a lot of work that day. I deserve a break." Like, no, I did work for one day.
Mhm.
So being consistent would have definitely helped me.
I feel like once that like mindset like shifts, it's like you have like a different whole new perspective and like you start regretting your old actions. But I feel like those series of actions led you to the conclusion, like they taught you a lesson essentially on
Yeah.
this. So yeah. Back then, were you more worried about disappointing yourself or disappointing the people around you?
I was definitely a lot more disappointed or a lot more worried about disappointing my parents because my parents are the ones who pushed me to do this and they kept talking about it, like checking up on studying. And while that was important and ideally it would have helped me study, it really just felt like I was doing it for them. It didn't feel like I was doing it for my future and my colleges. So, I just kind of switched my mindset and I became more worried about disappointing myself because after during the third time when I was taking it, I kind of just sat down and I was like, okay, this is for me, this is for my future, and I shouldn't be worried about other people's impact on this because at the end of the day, this only affects me.
So prioritizing yourself really helped you like become more hardworking and become more
Mhm.
consistent.
Definitely. It was such a big motivator for me.
Yeah. Well, this is all very inspiring. How do you hope to inspire others based on what you've learned through this experience?
I hope to inspire other people to learn that anything can be improved if you work hard enough and if you are dedicated enough to it and you believe in yourself. I know a lot of people say that, but it really, really is true, and this experience taught me that. And especially for the youth leads who are listening to this, I believe that a lot of experiences similar to this happen in high school, whether it's AP tests or maybe like friendships, any other things you could imagine, sports, clubs, that stuff. And these values that you can learn from a setback such as this will carry you on throughout your entire life because these values are something that's not specific to one thing, but it's a part of your growth as a person. And it helps you develop values that will be very helpful in the future when you're facing more difficult challenges. And I think that's important.
Yeah, I completely agree with all those points. I feel like I learned a lot during this conversation from you. Maybe I'll apply these to my own studying.
That would be great. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. It was great having you here. And thank you
Yeah,
for sharing your experiences for all the leads and all the viewers.
absolutely. I hope to inspire other people and let people know that disappointments are okay because they're just something you learn from.
Yeah, that's definitely a valuable life lesson. Thank you so much.
Thank you.